Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. What's up, everybody? Welcome back, man. It's your boy D-Friend. We're back live in the building for another episode of D-Friend Daily, episode number 90. So we're creeping up on episode 100. I got a lot of things to get into, a lot of things to discuss. Obviously, you can tell by the title. Joe Budden has come to the defense of black women against Fresh and Fit. Young Dolph's suspected killer, right? Only one of them, not both of them, has pretty much self-snitched on himself. We actually have some evidence of his self-snitching that we're going to get into. And then we got a couple of things. Gunna, he dropped an album, so obviously the rollout is happening, and it happens to include Freddie Gibbs. And then after that, we'll get into things you should know, which also is a rehash of what happened yesterday in Chicago. And then there was a CNN doctor who says, you know, we need to be more forceful, more shameful on the unvaccinated in America. So let's get right to it. Let's check out the comments first. What up, B? What's up? And then we got my man Joe Budden here to save the women. So let's get into that first. Oh, my bad. Before we get into it, if you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe, channel if you're not subscribed already. If you want to listen to the audio version of the podcast, obviously you're live, so you listen to the live version. But if you want to listen to audio versions, SoundCloud, Spotify, and iTunes, they'll be over there for you. Just search up D-Friend Daily, and you'll get them on there. Salute to Vicky. She in the chat as well. So, Joe Budden, the savior of the women, has come out, and he's made a statement against Fresh and Fit. A long Instagram post that I was surprised that Joe Budden would make, because he typically doesn't like to dabble in these things. And if he does typically dabble, it'll usually be on his podcast where you hear him make various statements, because obviously that's where you make your money. So you would obviously think, you know, let me talk about it here to bring more traction to my podcast. So I'm going to read the statement for you here if you haven't seen it. So he posted the video of Fresh and Fit doing the Shaniqua LaQuisha thing that I talked about yesterday. And he also posted a weird video of Myron, like saying, giving advice, like, hey guys, if she doesn't want to sleep with you and you got her at your home, go act like you're on the phone with another woman, and then she'll either give you what you want, or you could just, I don't know, some weird shit, right? But anyways, Joe Budden said this. Now, I don't normally do the repost another pod thing, because I just don't. Some stuff just doesn't deserve to be highlighted, but today I'll make an exception. I don't know these two doofs, but they don't get to do this. Too ignorant, inexperienced, insecure, fragile, and weak for this stale gimmick to not be seen through. Black women are everything, especially beautiful. Every kind of beautiful, too. So to hear this from them, LOL, is laughable, but it's not. It's not y'all don't date black women, fam. It's black women don't date y'all. Not quotations, parentheses, I could tell. So you harbor this hate and base opinions off as if you've been outside long enough to even know yourself, and y'all are angry about it, just not angry enough to not use them. These idiots know most podcasts can't get off the ground or gain any traction without love or hate from black women. Both act as fuel. This is nothing more than a cheap, tasteless heave at a payday. The words don't match the actions. If you hate them, do it without them. Skip the topic. Don't have them as guests. You clearly don't know how to host them. Don't cater convo toward them. Say no to every dollar, view, like, download, subscription generated directly or indirectly by them. Then I'll believe you. This is just pure laziness, amongst other things. If you can't find a funny, creative way to be inclusive or to discuss dating, then go back to the drawing board. I'll skip the lecture on self-hatred and just be glad they make it so easy to spot. And lastly, yes, we love Shaniqua and Buquisha. LaKanya is my personal favorite. I see why they hate some of you niggas having microphones, shaking my head. So that's what Joe Budden had to say to Fresh and Fit. So I spoke about it. Business updates of clowns. Nothing wrong with preference, but bigotry in conversation are the station. You just said some words in there, big dog. I ain't gonna hold you. So, anyways, salute to Joe Budden for doing what he felt was the right thing to do, standing up for the black queens. But the only thing with that is his point is saying, like, they know you can only get off the ground if you have the hate or the love for the black women. I don't think that's always necessarily true, because to be honest, those guys are already a big podcast, right? And I've already had my critiques of Fresh Fit all through my history of talking about them. They would have been big regardless of this, right? And this clip wasn't the clip that went viral. The clip that went viral was the shit with Asian Doll, which when you go viral for something, they dig up your old, and then this comes out. Like, I don't think this was a ploy for them to get bigger, if you know what I'm saying. So people were, kind of skeptical also of Joe Budden being the one to come out and defend black women when they say he's had a history of condemning black women himself. Now, I've been a Joe Budden listener since the early days. So I don't necessarily ever hear him condemning black women. I never seen that. But obviously they point to the Esther Baxter thing where you're sitting on her chest, no are sitting above her. Whatever the fuck you said while she was pregnant. Then they go to the Tahiri thing, even though Tahiri is like a Latina woman, but whatever. It's still a woman. And then they also point to the Olivia Dope thing. So a lot of people see it as an easy way for Joe to, get some kudos from black women, right? Maybe that was his intentions, but that's what people ended up obviously going to go to whenever you yourself have a storied history with black women. Also, his former fiance, Sin, had said some on lip service about why black men like dating Latina women instead of black. So, there's all that goes into that. But regardless, I agree with the message, right? I said this yesterday. And I got some heat from Fresh and Fit fans when I posted the clip of talking about these guys because you could tell when niggas just clearly listen to whatever their favorite says and they parrot it. They parrot it. Because I never said I had a problem with Fresh and Fit having a preference, but motherfuckers kept on bringing up it's their preference. They could do what they want to do. I never said they couldn't not like black women. I don't give a fuck who they like. My point was that when you do it in such a distasteful way to put down or belittle who you don't like, that's where people have an issue. That's where people have a problem. And if you can't see that, then that's just on you. Or you just don't want to see it, or you don't care. And that's fine. If you don't care, I don't really give a fuck. But when I'm doing a critique or a commentary, that's what I'm speaking to. I'm not speaking to, why don't Fresh and Fit love black women? They should love black women. What? I don't give a fuck. That's not me. I'm not here to be the who doesn't like black women, who doesn't want to date them police. That's not why I'm here. I'm here for the critique of how they laid it out. So, even like this guy who's been commenting recently, his name is Nobody, right? So he brought up this. He said, once again, if Umar Johnson can say derogatory comments about white women and get away with it with no one checking him, I don't have any empathy. All these YouTubers will ask women questions about what race they wouldn't date. I think to myself, okay, but don't expect me to be the nicest person. If no one could check Umar Johnson, that is a little chin check to mind your manners. First of all, I haven't seen I'm not saying it hasn't happened. I haven't seen a viral clip of Umar Johnson disrespecting white women. If it is out there, I look at that shit as cringe. When I see Charlamagne the God do certain shit he does on the show, and I fuck with Charlamagne. He's one of the reasons I wanted to do broadcasting type shit. But when I see some of the cracker mayonnaise thing, sometimes that shit makes me cringe. And I think I've said in the past, now, if white people, even if the story's talking about as a white person doing something bad, right? Say it's a white person that does some crazy shit, Karen type thing, right? Now, I don't even look at Karen as a bad word. They just created that into this bad word thing now. It's the same thing as saying the N word, but that's neither here nor there. But my point is, if white people got on their station and they was describing black people in the way that you describe white people, it would be a thing. But then, people bring up the history of racism and all these things like that. But regardless, so that was that guy's point about Umar Johnson. So Mark Quinn combated that. He said, the dominant society doesn't need protection, and white women are the most privileged race of women in the entire world. That's the difference. So he's pretty much saying white people are the protected class, so they don't need protecting. That's why it's such a stain when these guys talk down on black women, because they already get talked down on enough, and they don't get the protection like a white woman would. So he went on to argue, and I just couldn't stand having a guy argue something that wasn't being the point. And pretty much my conclusion of this guy is I really wish that YouTube would make it to where if you don't watch at least 50% of a video, right? And maybe not an hour-long podcast, but let's say you put your shit in segments, right? If you don't watch at least 50% of that video to get context of that video, you cannot comment. I'm sorry. Or at least when people comment, do like SoundCloud does, and it puts a timestamp to where they, what part of the video were you watching when you made your comment? Because the thing that irks my nerves about reading comments and reacting with certain people is they say shit that I end up saying in the video anyways, or they say shit that I didn't say. So I would just love to be able to get the data on where are people commenting when they are commenting. I would really love to be able to see that on YouTube. Because if my video is 12 minutes long about Fresh and Fit, and I haven't even really gotten to the crux of my discussion about them or my critique about them, and you're commenting at 2 minutes, some shit that I'm going to talk about at minute 6, I don't want to hear the shit you got to say. I'm sorry. Appreciate it for whatever algorithm comments do to push videos, but as far as having a conversation with you, I don't want to do it, Blue, because you're not watching. You're just talking. And then the other critique that I was getting was, Why do you guys talk about them? Y'all will talk about them for money. They create content and they want it to be talked about. They're creating a conversation and we're having a conversation about their conversation. So that's why I just hate stands and fans because they don't really have opinions and minds of their own. They're just mindless drones. They just sway whatever the wind blows. But as far as Joe Budden goes, it was an unexpected thing for me to see him comment on this. He has deleted it now, but now today it is going back re-viral and people are rehashing it and people are re-talking about what happened with him condemning Fresh and Fit. And I'm sure Fresh and Fit took it like, damn, like, maybe, possibly, I don't know if they do, but they might have looked at Joe Budden like the way they treat academics. Like they really fuck with academics. So they fuck with academics. I'm sure as far as podcasting goes, they fuck with Joe Budden. So I'm interested to see how they feel about Joe Budden calling them out on their shit from their show. So let me read some of the comments real quick. So Vicky, salute to Vicky. They will get attention, but it will be from young, childish kids. Their content is trash, even for racist. Devo and Bivert says, you can prefer light-skinned black women or women from other ethnicities without bashing dark skin. Fresh and Fit stands are really toxic. LOL, I can have a preference and like a lighter complexion, but if I say dark skin men are criminals or I can't see them in darker, then that's racist. Colorism is sickening, and then I don't know what the fuck this. I know that's probably like a bot or some shit. But anyways, yeah, that's pretty much what I got on that entire scenario. I just want people to know that when your favorite creators are being talked about, it's good for them. Because like I said, Fresh and Fit, I looked at it before it really blew up, right? Because I saw the Asian dog shit. I was watching their subscribers. I like to see what controversy will create for creators. So I saw their thing. They were at 540, right? Now they're at 544. So this whole thing of cancellation is a myth. And even the guy that I told you about, the nobody thing, he's like, well, y'all are just engaging in cancel culture. I never said in my video they should be taken off the internet. I said, if anything, nobody's really going to give a fuck because the Shade Room crowd who made it bigger isn't even their typical crowd. So they'll be fine. They'll be all right. They'll continue to grow and they'll continue to do whatever they want to do. So I don't know where he got that from as well. Nerd Affiliate, shout out to you. Yo. What's going on, man? So off of that, let's get into Young Dolph. So obviously, Young Dolph passed away right before Thanksgiving in his hometown of Memphis while he was out and about. Let me get some water real quick. While he was out trying to get some cookies. So the internet has been speculating and looking for the guys actually who killed Young Dolph, right? So the guy has, one of the suspects has been caught. His name is Justin Johnson. So this is the guy right here, 23-year-old man, one of the two gunmen that ran up on Young Dolph while he was at the cookie spot and gunned him down. So this is a very interesting story because this guy pretty much self-snitched on himself, and that's the reason that he is in custody today. So let me just read a little bit of the story, and then I'll show you some things that are pertaining to this guy. So Young Dolph's alleged killer helped police find him by sharing a music video at the home where the getaway vehicle was found. The funny thing about this is the internet detectives already found him. The internet detectives already knew who this guy was possibly before the police even did. Because this is a post that I found. I scrolled back in time to find this because I remember Diamonds Live posted this. And this was on November 21st, right? And then the thing about this guy is he's an idiot. He posted this video 4 days after Young Dolph was killed, either 4 days before or 4 days after. So this is the Instagram post that went up. So it says, internet detectives linked a Memphis rapper to Young Dolph's shooting. Car found, music video recorded in same location. So this is the music video, the car that was in the music video. His name is like Straight Drop. I think that's his rapper name. And then he stashed the car in the same spot he just recorded and put out a music video. And they found this out on November 21st. This is a couple days after Young Dolph died. So the internet beyond shit. Y'all think, like I said, y'all ain't really got to worry about the police. The internet is going to find you. The internet is going to figure it out. So anyways, police have identified the person they believe pulled the trigger on Memphis rapper Young Dolph, named Justin Johnson, as suspected killer. As photos of Johnson wearing a paper route ENT chain have gone viral, this is also something crazy too. He was wearing PRE paraphernalia. So I don't know how close he was with Dolph. I don't know if he was one of those rappers in the city who Dolph, kind of co-sign, maybe fuck with a little bit. Obviously he's not mainstream. But look, you see the PRE little waist, I don't know what the fuck kind of jewelry that is, but you know what I mean. You see it right there. You also see a video of him right here behind Young Dolph in the club. So not saying that him and Dolph were best friends, but obviously this guy was in the vicinity of young Dolph at certain points in his life. So anyways, where was I? Seemingly shows suspect party at the club. I just showed that clip. It becomes increasingly clear that Johnson did not cover his steps well enough to get away with the crime. According to news reports, cops were able to link Johnson to the murder after he allegedly used the home where the getaway car was located as a backdrop in one of his music videos, which was released after Dolph's death. So the 21-year-old man, who was a Memphis area rapper named Straight Drop, released a music video for his song Going Straight In on November 21st, 4 days after Dolph was killed, using the home where the getaway vehicle was found as his backdrop. A gray Mercedes-Benz, which was allegedly used for the shooter to escape the scene of the crime, was previously found at the same house, helping police identify Johnson, a name, as a suspect. So there's presently a $50,000 reward for Johnson's arrest. He is on the most wanted list, is considered armed and dangerous. So the thing about Johnson also is he was also arrested in, I believe it said 2017, for there was an altercation at a bowling alley. You know how shit go. Like, you go to the club or you go somewhere, fight breaks out in the facility. Guys, what do? Either they get beat up or they just want static. They run out to the car, grab a gun, and he came in and started shooting, which he shot 4 people. Grazed them. I don't think anybody died, but he still shot 4 people. So that's one guy. I don't know what the updates are on the other guy who was also involved in the shooting, but once again, I don't know if this is, because I can sit here and speculate, right? I can sit here and be like, you know what? Let me connect these dots for you guys. That guy obviously had something to do with Paper Out Empire. He was in the club with young Dolph. Possibly, maybe, this guy felt slighted by Dolph. So the only thing this guy knows in his mind to correct a slighting would be to murder somebody. And that's why he went out his way to murder young Dolph. Some people are trying to speculate and say that there was payments being made behind the scenes to take out young Dolph. But who knows the real reason? We probably won't get the real reason until court comes around. But him being the first suspect, honestly, is good for him if he's willing to, give up the other guy. Now, obviously, the street snitching is a bad thing, but for self-preservation, I wouldn't be surprised if this guy possibly ends up ratting out his other co-defendant, whoever the other guy was, that was shooting at young Dolph as well. So at least that's some type, not necessarily closure, because we haven't really got him yet. He ain't like in custody. He isn't arrested. He isn't ready to be locked up. But, he's one step closer to getting the justice for his family and things of that nature. So we'll keep you updated with that story. So anyway, salute to Vicky Love. Thank you for always dropping in, stringing important content, D-Friend. Salute to you. That's why these guys are something else. That's what I'm saying. Like, and you see in this picture, right? Like I said, the narrative you always hear is like poverty is breeding the violence. But like, bro, that's more money than I think. If that's all hundreds, he probably got more money in that hundreds than I got currently at the time in the bank account. I don't know if those are all hundreds, but you can assume if that's all hundreds, there's got to be at least like what, $20,000, $30,000 of $100 bills in his hand. He looks like he's doing all right. He looks dressed, like a rapper would dress. So I just want to know the motive and the reason behind these guys going around and murdering people and ruining this family's life and then ruining his life, because he's done, right? You've already shown us you have no regard for society. You went into a bowling alley and shot at, really just shooting at people. This is my thing. The disregard for human life is the crazy thing to me. Because when you go to a bowling alley, say you get into an altercation on lane 12, me and my family are on lane 10, and you come in and start shooting, you're putting me and my family in the hellfire. So you have no regard for anybody else but whatever you feel personally, your ego, your whatever, to get done. And I don't like people like that on the street who have no regard for human life. No, thank you, because you might be that person. Like there was a video I saw the other day. It was in Brooklyn. This woman was in there with her dog, right? Just cashing out. There was a guy standing behind her. A guy runs up to the door of, I guess they call them bodegas. They don't call them corner stores like where I'm from. He runs up to the bodega. You know what he do? It looked like he was trying to shoot that guy. He ends up shooting this woman, killing her, and also killed her dog. And I don't even think the person it seemed like he was trying to get was shot. That's what I mean, no regard for human life. Like, you have an objective of who you want, but you're willing to shoot any and everybody to get that target. You shouldn't be on the street. You should be gone. That's just plain and simple. So let's check out some more comments about this story. So I feel like it was too many people involved for it to be on some hating stuff. I think they were paid. And Nerd Affiliate says, wow. So yeah, that's pretty much the gist of the Young Dolph thing. That's what's been buzzing around social media. That's what's been ripping and running the streets. And we will see what happens if this guy is eventually arrested. Maybe he's on the run. Maybe he's just hiding somewhere, locally. But my thing with this is, when you saw those shootings happening after Young Dolph's death, like guy gets shot here, guy gets shot. Literally, a guy got killed at the place where that car was dropped off at, right? And then you also see that guy gets killed down the street from Dolph's Memorial. Like they know what's going on. Like people in Memphis probably knew this guy did it. And they probably know who the other guy is. They're not going to maybe drop the name for the police, but in the city, they know who did these things, right? So I got a bunch of stories I want to discuss. I just don't know what I want to really get into next. I wanted to talk about Gunna because his album rollout's coming out soon, but I don't know if I really want to touch it. I feel like this Antonio Brown topic is very important because to me it's a lot of it's just a lot of bullshit with this Antonio Brown story because I feel like he's being vilified from his past, but people aren't taking accountability into like what is happening in the now. So I'll just run through the Antonio Brown thing real quick. So Antonio Brown, obviously NFL superstar, wide receiver, walked out the field, went, chucked up the deuces. I'm out. I'm done. Looks brazen, looks wild, looks crazy. We're looking at him like he's insane. Like, why would he do that? Oh, it's just Antonio Brown being Antonio Brown. He can't help himself. Maybe he got CTE. Maybe he doesn't. Like, that was the narrative around Antonio Brown during that time. Then we found out people were saying, oh, it's a contract dispute. He wanted to get these bonuses that were listed below. They weren't playing him. And then it came out that he was actually injured. And he told the coach, like, hey, I'm injured. I don't think I could play. And the coach did this to him and said, you're done, right? And telling a player he's done because he doesn't want to play through injury, to me, should be investigated. It's something that should be done about that because I don't think players should, I know they get paid millions of dollars. Come on, play. We need help. We're doing this. We're doing that. But my point is, if Antonio Brown goes out and plays, right? Say he says, you know what, coach? I know you. Damn, I don't want you to cut me, coach. Please don't cut me. I'm gonna play. Antonio goes out there, runs a quick slant route, puts the pressure on that ankle. That ankle snaps, right? He has to get rods, all kind of shit. That ankle don't move the same no more. But potential 3 years he could have played, next couple of years, he don't get those millions of dollars. That's wiped out, right? Who's going to pay for him at that point? Nobody. And I also brought up the Simone Biles thing. Simone Biles did not want to compete in the Olympics because at first they were saying mental health, and then they were saying she had the twisties, which is, I guess, when you're in the air, you can't comprehend where you are to the ground. So obviously if you're twisting around going crazy, that's very detrimental to you because you land on your head and break your neck. Everybody was fine with that. She got the Time magazine cover for being brave for doing it. But because Antonio Brown has a past, they're able to vilify him and talk down about him. So he said he had text messages, and he released the text messages. So he said, or this is BA. BA is the coach. This is BA. Make sure you're ready to go tomorrow. We are not resting for the playoffs. And then he tells Antonio Brown, call me. Then Antonio Brown sends him a picture, I'm guessing, with a physical therapist, something like that. And he says, my bad, let me scoot in on this. I can't really see it. I'm all in, coach. Really can't get to full speed. I want to win, want to be there. If I wake up tomorrow, feel better, I'll be ready. Kind of rolled it outside the 2-point play. I want what's best for the team. When you're free, I'll call you. So he said, come see me in the morning. We'll talk it out. Definitely want you with us in case you are ready. So the thing about this funny about that is Bruce Arians made it seem like he didn't know about the injury. He didn't know what was going on. He didn't know. I never heard he had an injury, but like we see the text messages. So my point is we may have to be, quick to the gun to vilify people. I know, even though they may have past transgressions that we can pull from, like, well, he did do this in New England. Well, he did do this in Pittsburgh. So it's not out of his character. Like, I can understand why people pull from those things. But in this instance, to me, it looks like a coach, they was losing. They ended up coming back and winning. He was like, fuck that, you're playing. And he also brought up that they gave him a shot, which is a very strong painkiller. And I'm very curious after I heard that, how many players in the NFL leave NFL or currently in the NFL that are addicted to opioids? Like, they got the CTE thing, but I would also like to know how many NFL players are addicted to opioids because of this thing. I didn't even know if that was really, truly real. If you ever, when you were younger, you played NFL Blitz, or I think it was NFL Blitz, right? Where they like boom, boom, they like crack your ankle, and they be like, do you want him to sit out, or do you want to give him this like crazy shot that'll make him play again? I guess they really do that. So my thing is, how many people are y'all also getting addicted to opioids by taking this super painkiller shot that Antonio Brown says the NFLPA kind of pushes back on using? That's my question in regards to Antonio Brown and this whole situation. So, you're gonna get found. Let me read some of these chats. Kind of like reading the chat. So, like I said, if you want to subscribe to the channel, if you're not subscribed, I see 12 people on here. I don't know how many likes the video got. I don't know any of that thing like that. I just appreciate you for being here. I appreciate you for watching. But if you're not subscribed to the channel, please do me a favor and subscribe to the channel right now. So, anyways, Vicky Love says he gonna get found. Me on the run ain't easy at all either. Just for Dolph. Obviously, that's about the Dolph conversation. You even said that in the older video. The city knows who he is. They know. They know. So, LOL, he dropped a song, though. He want to be a rapper. Yeah. This was promo for his rap career. If you would have walked out, it wouldn't be a big problem. It was the antics he did. If your ankle that bad, you can't be doing jumping jacks in the end zone. That makes what you say questionable. And people have said that, and I get that. So, that's why your reputation is everything. Look at his Insta now. All of a sudden, you're dropping music. Come on now. So I get that. I get that. I get that. But to be honest, and if he doesn't know this, he's wilding. If he doesn't know this, he's wilding. There's no rap career for Antonio Brown. There's no rap career for Antonio Brown. Athletes turn rappers. Maybe Shaq. Maybe did it successfully. But I don't know another another athlete that successfully transitioned to become a rapper. Because we're always going to look at you as the wide receiver. So if this was a big ploy to start or create his rap career, it's not going to work. Because think about it like this. When media talks about Antonio Brown, right? In this whole situation, it's only sports media that's talking about him. No rap media has brought up or introduced, hey, Antonio just dropped a fire single after storming out. They don't give a fuck. We want to see you. And I'm not trying to put nobody in a box, but I'm just telling you, they're not going to fuck with the rap shit because they see you as a wide receiver. We want to see you out there with Tom Brady. And I know he just got released today, so he's not catching pass with Tom Brady no more. But we want to see you catching the ball, juking people and shit like that, and getting touchdowns. Rap shit, it's not going to work. I'm sorry. Damian Lillard, he does a little dabbling in rap and shit like that. But Damian Lillard, I don't believe is ever going to be a touring rap superstar where we're like, oh my God, Damian is on the level of Lil Baby. Because he would be a new guy because he obviously ain't been rapping, with Drake and them. So he's not going to be on that level because everybody's like, you're Damian Lillard, the basketball player. Like, this is a great hobby to have. He may actually be talented at doing it, but, like, come on. We're not going to fucking listen to these guys rap, like, long term. Like, we're just not. Especially we already have high talented rappers that are out that we can listen to. So, I want to get into, what time is it? 36? The Gunna shit, that ain't really that big of a deal. It was just something I was going to talk about because his album Rollout is here. And we've been talking on the podcast recently about how rappers can promote themselves is through romance, drama, comedy, and tragedy, right? Tragedy is obviously death, prison sentences, whatever like that. People talk about you and it makes your name into a bigger light. Like we seen recently, Pooh Shiesty pled guilty, so he no longer has a life sentence, so that's promo for him. It's not good promo, he's going to prison, but still some type of promo. Comedy, if you just have a great personality, people like you, people fuck with you. Romance, obviously, like we said on the podcast yesterday, Moneybagg Yo's star has risen due to him being in a relationship with someone that everybody deems likable and they want to watch her. So in turn, they watch her, they watch him, like that. So also drama. We know beef, sells records, get people interested to you. So to me, Gunna is taking advantage of two of the pillars of promotion, right? So romance side, he's walking out of the games with Chloe Bailey. Everybody likes Chloe Bailey. I know people talk shit about her. They think she does too much. She's a, what they call, pick me, whatever the fuck they say about her. She's a beautiful young lady. She's talented, and it's a good look for Gunna because, like I said, she's a person that gets posted on these blogs. People fuck with her. That's a good look. That's another part of promotion, right? Then he tweeted out that he has, this will be the biggest look for Freddie Gibbs' career, right? So this is what happened after that happened. So Freddie Gibbs and him had a little back and forth because Freddie Gibbs, back when Gunna was introduced on Crimes, they said it was Crime Stoppers. He says it's CNN. that he kind of clowned him. Like any rapper that gets on Crime Stoppers is a clown, something of that vein, right? So Gunna says, it's CNN and my cousin's still doing life for no statement ever been turned in one. Free Devo. Then Freddie Gibbs responds, I'm just going to leave this right here. Y'all have a good evening. And he said, this is not Crime Stoppers, dummy. So obviously it's some type of little diss, right? And if the snippet that we heard is the diss that's created all this mess, it's really like, it's like out of probably a 3-minute song, it's like, we don't fuck with Freddie Gibbs, and that's it, right? But Gunna knows it's promotion. People are talking about it. So you know what people are going to do when they listen to the album? I want to go to the song where Gunna's dissing Freddie Gibbs. Smart. It's promo. He's dropping with The Weeknd. He needs the pro. Maybe if he was by himself, he would have been all right. But like, you got to look at the laws of attraction. If you're dropping and The Weeknd dropping, who do you think people are going to go listen to first? The Weeknd. So you got to give them some reason to want to listen to you more than they possibly want to listen to The Weeknd. So it's smart. It's smart. It's a good little business ploy. Maybe YSL set it up. Freddie Gibbs is all over the place. Everybody's dissing him. Everybody talking shit about him. Shit spiraling for him. Good rapper, but still shit's spiraling. Shit's going out of control. So I want to get into news you should know. You already know how we do it here. We get into the pop culture topics, and then we get into some more serious topics. And typically the serious topics are typically centered around COVID-19. So if you don't want to give a fuck about COVID, you know, you can tune out, whatever. But I think shit like this is important. I think shit like this should be spoken about. So here is where we're going to speak about these things. And today is obviously January 6th. So it is the 1-year anniversary of the insurrection. That's all everyone is talking about. Personally, and it's just for Democrats, right? If Democrats are looking at this as their opening line for 2022 midterms, that shit is not going to work. I don't think enough people really give a fuck about the insurrection shit to really like have it be a driving force that goes into voting. I don't think people care. We got inflation. We got a bunch of mandates, all kinds of shit's going on. They don't give a fuck about the insurrection. I'm sorry. I watched a documentary about it. I don't think it was just some little parsay thing that people try to make it out to be. That shit look wild. That shit look crazy. But as far as y'all trying to do all like, oh, we got the January 6th committee. We're trying to find, oh, shit, Sean Hannity texted this. Regular people don't give a fuck about that shit. I'm sorry. You got to rearrange the plan if you think that's going to be the master motivator to get Democrats elected in 2022. It's not going to be the wave. But that's not what I'm talking about here. I'll talk about this CNN doctor that came on. So he says extreme action against people who are unvaccinated. You know, I've been the champion for the unvaccinated just because, you know, I feel like they've been, you know, ain't got a real fair shake here and there. And I feel like also it's not even necessarily just about the unvaccinated. I just feel like a lot of these things that happen can become a very, very slippery slope in due time. Because like I always say here, it is not like right now it's COVID. Right now it's vaccines. Like you fuck with it, you get it, you condemn people who don't. Eventually it's going to be something that you don't agree with, and they've already got the framework to where they're allowed to do whatever they want. And then at that point you don't have no say so. So that's what I caution people on when we see guys like this. So this is what the CNN doctor had to say. It's about a minute and 40 clip, so let's take a look.
Yeah, again, I get the idea of creating a moral standard here and really judging, being willing to judge and say things out loud. The question is, and I also get protecting the vulnerable. Kids under 5 can't get vaccinated. People who are older and maybe have medical conditions, even if they are vaccinated, are vulnerable. And I get acting in ways that make their lives safer. But by and large, if you're vaccinated and boosted, even if you get infected, you're going to be fine. You're going to be fine here. It's the unvaccinated who are going to be hurt. So why should anyone who is boosted bother at this point to do anything that makes the unvaccinated more safe?
Well, look, I want us to act as a community. I want us to act as a team. When you're fighting a war, you need all hands on deck. I don't want to reject those who still haven't done the right thing. I'll condemn them. I'll shame them. I'll blame them. But I don't want to exclude them. They've got to come around. We can't win this war. We're going to be talking about COVID this time next year if we don't get more people to do the right thing. So we can't write them off. We can penalize them more. We can say, we're going to pay more on your hospital bill if you weren't vaccinated. You can't get life insurance or disability insurance at affordable rates if you aren't vaccinated. Those companies should not treat us as equals in terms of what the financial burdens are that disease imposes. So I can think of a number of ways in which we should say, here's the stick, get on board. At the same time, we do need everyone. It's a war. You got to have all your troops unified if we're ever going to win it.
Yeah, it's still, by and large, it's the unvaccinated who aren't wearing masks. It's the unvaccinated who aren't social distancing. It's the unvaccinated.
So that's, in the end of that clip was pretty much him just saying, it's unvaccinated people that are doing all the wrong things that we want them to do. Like I said, they've done a good job of making it a good versus bad, good and evil. Like if you're not vaccinated, if you're not this, you're evil. If you are, you're good. So when you make things a morality thing, most people tend to go to the side of where they feel like they're good. Like I said, the media did a good job of this when it was Donald Trump. If you're a Trump supporter, you're bad. Look, when anybody put on a red hat, they were immediately vilified. They were immediately castigated. Like, get them the fuck out of here. You don't even know them. You haven't even spoken to them. You don't know what they believe. You don't know what their family life is like. You don't know the history. But we've made this symbol evil and bad. So, obviously, if you're on the other side, you're good. And a lot of people, they tend to go through their life wanting to be on the side of good. But I just don't like, hey, let's make it hard for them to get insurance, right? They can't get insurance, right? Or they can, but it's going to be very high for them to get insurance. They can't do, what else he said? Make it hard for them to get disability. They got to pay extra money in hospital bills. People got to pay extra premiums on their insurance this year, extra $50 in some companies because they're not vaccinated. So don't tell me they're not doing things to try to, coerce you to get this done for something. And in YouTube, it's not me saying this, it's statistics, relatively does not affect people at the large scale that they're making it seem like. Now, I'm not saying that people ain't getting sick, but like I said, it's more of a flu, especially now with Omicron. There's a statistic out there, they track it daily, of the worldwide cases of coronavirus, right? And the last time I saw it, it was 25 million people that have been tested, and not tested, but they have been got a positive test. Like 25 million people got corona. 99.7%, not 97%, not 90.7, but 99.7% of those people are mild symptoms. 0.3% they say are need to be in hospitalization sectors. And we're talking about 7 billion people, 25 million got it, and 80,000 people are in, harm's way. And that doesn't mean they're automatically going to die. They're just needing a little extra help from the hospitals. That's what we're, framing these ideas around at the moment. So my point is just be cautious, be wary, because like I said, now, if you're a person who fucks with it, you condemn people who aren't vaccinated, you hate them. I talk about these media pundits all the time, like Anna Navarro, who says, I don't want to work with them, I don't want to talk to them, I don't want to see them, okay, cool. That you agree with that now. Eventually, it's probably going to be something that you don't agree with. But we've already given you all the power to do whatever you want. We've already successfully given you the power to do what you want to do. So don't be surprised when that power eventually gets used on you in the other direction. That's all I'm saying. And you don't believe me? Look at nations, look at the history of nations for years and years and years. It happens. It's one step at a time. This and this and this. This, and they got you. Let me read some of the comments real quick. So, Vicky Love says, LMAO, what those people did on January 6th is what I thought BLM was going to do, but no, BLM had problem destroying small businesses. Now y'all supposed to attack government buildings. So, Lydia says, it's always going to be a variant at this point. It's basically a code. Let people do what they want. Mask, no mask, vaccinated, unvaccinated. Just let people do what they want. And I'm telling you, because these people, like politicians, they don't really give a fuck about they just think they're doing the right thing, right? I honestly feel like they're doing what they think is going to get them votes. Because think about it like this: before the vaccine came out and Trump was president, right? You saw a lot of these people talking shit about the vaccines, right? Because Trump's doing it, so it's not good, right? They want to be the ones to do it. They don't want the other side to get the credit for it. But as soon as okay, now it's time for us to get the credit for it. Push it. We look like we're doing good. I see old tweets of Kamala Harris. Bro, I shared this shit yesterday. Let me see. They wanted the American people to believe that they could get a handle on these things when there's no getting a handle on this shit at all. You're not going to get a handle on it. It's probably going to end up being a seasonal thing. Every year it's going to be, like they said, like Lydia said, it's going to be a new variant. Shit's going to happen. You're going to get your yearly, like a flu shot type thing, or you just ride it out and rock. I don't think I've ever got a flu shot maybe since I was like a little kid. And I'll probably get the flu But I mean, I'm not, RIP or nothing like that. So what's the tweet I was going to show you? So it was from Kamala Harris, like in October 30th in 2020. She said, Donald Trump still doesn't have a plan to defeat coronavirus, but Joe Biden and I do. Right? That's her thing. Grand statement. We have a plan to defeat coronavirus. Then 1/4/2022, breaking from Bloomberg. The U.S. tops 1 million COVID infections in 24 hours, doubling the figure from just 4 days ago and setting a global record. Like, y'all are setting records. Like, you just stop saying shit you know you can't do. Just stop it. So the last thing in news you should know is pretty much a follow-up from yesterday's podcast where I discussed another measure that doesn't make sense in Chicago where 350,000 students were not able to go to school because 400 people, staff and student, were infected with coronavirus. Teacher unions shut it down. So this is an update from that. So classes for Chicago's 350 children are canceled again. So it's canceled on Wednesday and they canceled again for today. Remote learning may not start until Monday. So kids are pretty much kids probably don't give a fuck. They're on an extended break. But parents who can't afford to get babysitters, parents who are kind of burdened by this at this point now because they may have to go to work, they're the ones that are affected. If I was a kid and I had to go to school, I'd be rocking. I wouldn't really care. But teachers say they won't work with kids until they're forced to COVID test, even if parents haven't given consent. Slippery slope. That's all I'm saying is slippery slope. So anyways, Chicago public schools remain closed on Thursday in lessons for its 350,000 students until Monday after teachers union. This printing is all fucked up. I may have to just click on the damn thing and read it like that. So I'll just read it from the thing. So anyway, Chicago schools remain closed on Thursday and lessons may not resume for its 350,000 students until Monday after the teachers union and city failed to come to an agreement on additional COVID policies. Thursday marked the second day of what city and public officials called an illegal strike by the Chicago Teachers Union, which announced at 11 p.m. on Tuesday its members will refuse in-person learning until the district implements its demands. The CTU, led by socialist Jesse Sharkley, wants an opt-out COVID testing regime that would see pupils tested without parental consent. This goes much further than the New York City and Los Angeles school districts, the two largest in the nation, that require opt-in consent. So LA and New York, they require you to get permission from the parents. He's trying to say, fuck the parents. Let me tell you something. I'm Democrats. Just fucking listen. It is not that hard. When it comes to people's kids, you cannot say fuck the parents. We see regardless of how big that book shit was in Virginia, like when there was a lot of those parent-teacher conferences in Virginia going on, and there was like, oh, you got these sexual books in here, and you got the guy who's trying to run for governor saying that it doesn't matter what the parents want in school, kind of like fuck the parents, and then they got the transgender bathroom thing where this guy sexually assaulted one of the kids, and then all they did was ship him to another school where I believe allegedly, I know he sexually assaulted one person, but let's say he sexually assaulted another person in another school. That's a losing strategy. That's a losing strategy. I can tell you right now. If this lady, Mayor Lori, and this isn't the mayor, this is student council teachers, the student union's president saying this, and I don't know how that shit gets voted in, but Lori Lightfoot days are probably coming up if her election is this year. I can feel it in my bones because, like I said, 1,000,000 times. And they're not watching this podcast, so I know the fuck they're not listening. But let me tell you. People who are Republican, they're going to be, if you're a diehard, you're a diehard. If you're a diehard Democrat, you're a diehard fucking Democrat. But once you activate the people who do not give a fuck about politics and inconvenience their lives, they're going to look up and say, okay, who is inconveniencing me? This lady, okay, what are you? You're a Democrat? Okay, Democrats are inconveniencing me. You can tell me, you can tell these people who don't give a fuck about politics, all that bullshit. Republicans want to get rid of abortion. I don't have abortions. I don't give a fuck. They want to do this. I don't give a fuck. They want to do that. I don't give a fuck. You are inconveniencing me. And in order for me not to be inconvenienced, you have to be out of office. So don't be surprised at the end of 2021 when a lot of these people are out of office because of shit they thought that was going to get them in office. Or that was going to keep them in office because it's not. Because like I said, the Democrats, they fuck with you. The Democrats who are diehard, they're going to vote for the Democrats. Republicans, they're going to do that. But when you start making people inconvenienced, they are going to come out and they are going to vote against you. So anyways, Mayor Lori Lightfoot hits out at the proposal last night. She said, "You're not going to be in a world where we do quasi medical procedure on little children without their parents' affirmative written consent." That's a good thing for her to say. But also, she is the same lady who just did that. She's going to start mandates like right before the New Year started, right? You can't go to movie theaters, you can't go to restaurants. Same kind of thing in New York. Kids who are 5 years old to 11, you got to get vaccinated. If you're not, you can't come into establishments. You can't go to your friend's birthday party, the jump place. You can't do these things. Like I said, who is inconveniencing me? They might not want their child to be vaccinated. They might be, but they might not want their child to be. You're inconveniencing me. You're out. I'm going to tell you how it's going to go. So she said, we are not going to flip the switch and take from parents the ability to determine for their own family whether or not there's going to be testing. The CTU is also demanding that the city of Chicago Public Schools ask students to provide a negative COVID test in order to come back to in-person classes and schools to go remote if 20% of staff are in isolation or in quarantine. Lightfoot has refused these demands that collectively go further than the rules imposed in New York City and LA, where schools are now open. Just 400 positive COVID cases were reported Tuesday morning, with about 70% students, 30% staff, and about 91% of Chicago teachers are fully vaccinated, as for half students age 12 and older. So 91% of the teachers, half of the students, hysteria. Hysteria. Like at first I was rocking with like, oh yeah, do your thing. But like at this point, when you see the new science coming out, when you see new information coming out, it's like, really, what's the point? Just go to school. We know it ain't really affecting the kids. If you're a teacher that's vaccinated, we say all the time, you should be fine. If the vaccine, like I said, y'all believe in the vaccine, that's fine, that's cool. I think it works. I think it does what it's supposed to do. I think it most likely does limit symptoms if you do get the vaccine. I believe that. I'm not one of these guys who deny that. But my thing is, if you got that and you get it, and you end up getting a cold, why are you shutting down schools? Especially when there's a statistic put out by the Chicago medical whoever, and they said that out of the 350,000 children in the past 7 days, only 7 have been hospitalized. 7. And to me, I've tried to look it up and I haven't seen it. I don't even know what hospitalization really means. Does hospitalization mean they just got admitted? Maybe they had too high of a temperature, they couldn't go home. Is that a hospitalization? Or is hospitalization like they laying down, they got the nose tube and they shit, they really fucked up? Or is that a hospitalization? If someone knows that, please clarify for me, because I don't know. Because if a hospitalization is like, oh, he has like 103 temp, we're just going to keep him overnight to see if it goes down. Okay, that's hospitalization, but like, is that the number that are being thrown out there? So like I said, that goes more into this whole Chicago thing. I wish I could show this so I could, maybe I could share the screen. Let me see if I can share real quick. Share screen. I want to share this window. So this is the guy who's like kind of mucking everything up. And then this is the mayor. So they're going back and forth trying to figure out what the hell is going on. Because I think she knows. Like, dog, maybe he's not voted in by the people, but motherfucker, I'm voted in. And like I said, you're about to inconvenience so many parents that may vote my ass out because they're not going to blame you. They're going to blame me. And even if they do blame you, they can't get you out of here. So you know what they're going to do? They're going to get me out of here. So Chicago Public School CEO Pedro Martinez said he had no choice but to cancel schools on Thursday and called it a losing day for teachers and parents. For me, it's a day of mourning. I'm sad for how as a district we are responding to parents because parents are losing in this process. The CTU has vowed to work remotely from Wednesday to January 18th unless a safety agreement with CPS is reached for the Omicron-fueled COVID surge subsides. Martinez and Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot have said they would not give in to the demands, yada, yada, yada. So like I said, it's not looking good for them. We'll see what happens. But that's all I got. That was news you should know. Let me go ahead and read these last couple of comments real quick in the chat. So Vicky says, preach. Facts. I think that's what I was getting my whole, like, they're going to vote you out. Like, that's what I was getting in my bag with that one. But anyways, there was a time when teachers would get arrested for talking to children about sex. That's crazy. It was already fucked up to mandate it to adults who have to keep their jobs, take care of their family. But to mandate the kids, though, and that's how it's going. So, hey, I got 60 people here fucking with me right now. I really appreciate you guys for watching, subscribing, all that good shit like that. If you enjoyed the show, if you fuck with me, just hit the subscribe button right now for me. We're trying to grow the channel. Trying to get bigger. We're trying to get better. So appreciate you right now if you subscribe to the channel. Also, give this video a thumbs up. Comment your thoughts, your opinions. I like to see, obviously, I read the comments. I like to see what other people think about the scenarios as well. Also, if you want to go over and fuck with the audio version, SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, search up D-Friend Daily, and the audio version will be out for you as well. Obviously, you're watching it live. They'll be out for you then. That's all I got. Hope you guys have a great day. Hope you do what you got to do to get better every single day. I'll see you guys tomorrow. It's your boy D-Friend.